Hey guys. All right, so on week three, when you go to the Google Classroom, um, you click on, like, you have some options up here at the top. Mine has stream, and then next to it has classwork. Okay, so you want to click on classwork, and then it should be AMI week three, April 6th through 10. Okay, so we've got your activities for this week posted all under this heading. Okay, as you can see, there are 5 things that I want you to look at. The first one is the morning meeting. Okay, so every week I'm going to post a morning meeting as the very first thing. You just click on that. When that opens, I'll kind of just go through what I'm asking you guys to complete there. Okay, so with the morning meeting, this has your agenda, any special announcements, anything that's going to be happening this week for my class will be posted in the weekly morning meeting. Okay, so we always want to start out here. All right, so you can read the welcome message. If you have not finished the check-in from last week, you've got the link right here. Make sure you get that done. Okay, so our learning goals for the rest of this year are going to be things that are geared towards getting you guys ready for Algebra 2. Okay, the math teachers all got together at the very beginning of the year, and we made a list of the skills that students need to really have a good understanding of before they start each class. Okay, so I'm going to be basing our learning goals off of those skills that you need in order to be successful next year in Algebra 2. All right, so this week we're going to be looking at factoring trinomials that have a leading coefficient of 1. So to start out with on the agenda, we're just going to do an IXL multiplying binomials review, Khan Academy practice, and then a Google form for factoring. Okay, so these are the 3 main things that you're going to focus on to gauge your understanding of this learning goal. Okay, so this is our target. These are the things that are going to get you there. That should say the week 3 check-in. Let me fix that real quick. The week 3 check-in has a spot on there where you can rate yourself, how well you feel like you're understanding this. Please do these activities first before you do this check-in. That way I know if there's more that we need to kind of iron out, or if we're good to move on to the next thing after that. Okay. Now, when you go to the second slide in the morning meeting, this will have your agenda items all broken down into details here. This is also a really good place where it has all of your links kind of all together. So the first thing that we're doing, the IXL, it is in the Algebra 1 category. Okay, it's not in the geometry category. In geometry, I don't think there is a section Z. Okay, so you won't be able to find it there. Make sure you're on Algebra 1. Some of you guys have levels instead of like Algebra 1 or geometry written out. So if yours says level whatever, then Algebra 1 is level K. Okay, so whichever one yours says, it'll either say Algebra 1 or it'll say level K. You're going to go to Z8, multiplying 2 binomials. So I'm going to do a couple of those problems with you. If you get stuck, Gina Wilson, copyright Gina Wilson down there at the bottom of all of our packets, she made a couple of videos. Okay, so I put a link to her video here. It'll have your notes. I think it's probably very similar to a notes that you did last year in Algebra 1. So it'll have that there. Okay, so that's there for you to use. When you click on the multiply 2 binomials, here's what we get. So when we're multiplying binomials, last year Miss Gibson showed you guys a box method, and then in class a couple of times when we've come across this, I've shown you guys the FOIL method. Okay, I do not care which method you use. It is entirely up to you. So if you use get my paper out. All right, if you use the box method for these, I'm going to set myself up a box. Okay, so I've got my box here. It's a 2x2 box because I'm multiplying 2 binomials. Okay, so I'm going to take the first binomial, 4k minus 1, and I'm just going to put that down the side. 4k minus 1. Okay, and I sure hope that y'all can see that. 4k minus 1. All right, then I'm going to take the other binomial, the 3k plus 1, and I'm going to put that across the top here. So 3k And then this time I had a positive 1. Okay, now if I want to find the area of each of these little boxes, I'm just multiplying length times width, right? So 4k times 3k, well, 4 times 3 is 12. K times k gives me k squared. So in this first box, I'm going to put 12k squared. Right? Okay, then I'm going to come over here to this next box right here. This one would be 1 times 4k. So 4k times 1 is just 4k. Okay. All right. On the bottom row, this one would be negative 1 times 3k. So that's negative 3k. Okay. And then in the very last box there, that one would be negative 1 times positive 1, which is going to give me a negative 1. Okay, so then in the box method, we have our first term would be 12k squared, my last term would be negative 1, and my two terms in the middle are positive 4k and negative 3k. So I have 12k squared plus 4k minus 3k minus 1. Right? I just took each of those pieces and I wrote them all in a line. Well, the only thing that's left is to combine our like terms right here, right? If I do a positive 4k minus 3k, that's a positive 1k. So now I have 12k squared plus 1k, or just plus k, right, minus 1. Okay, so we have just multiplied our two binomials using the box method. This 12k squared plus k minus 1 should be our answer. Now, if you don't like the box method, you can use the FOIL method. All right, so I'm going to do this exact same problem, but I'm going to FOIL it instead. And in class, several of you guys like this method better. So I'm going to start by rewriting the problem just like it's written here on my screen. Okay, so I have 4k minus 1, 3k plus 1. Okay. All right, so FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. And remember, with FOIL, that tells you how you're multiplying your terms together. First means we're going to do the first term times the first term. Okay, so I'm going to do 4k times 3k. That's going to give me 12k squared, right? 4k times 3k. Okay. O stands for the, sorry, I'm trying to hold this where you guys can see this. Okay, O stands for the outside. So if I multiply the outsides together, I have 4k times positive 1. So that's going to give me a positive 4k. Okay. All right, I stands for the inside. So I'm going to do the inside times the inside. Negative 1 times 3k. That's going to give me a negative 3k. All right, and then L stands for last. So last times the last. That would be a negative 1 times positive 1, which gives me a negative 1. All right, so hopefully we can see from right here, we got the same thing that we did right here before we simplified it. So if I combine my like terms right here, once again, I get 12k squared plus 1k minus 1. Okay, so you can either use the FOIL method, first, outside, inside, last, or you can use the box method. Either way, we're going to end up doing the same steps and getting the same response. All right? Okay, so when I go to type this in, I want to put 12k, and make sure that you put the right letter, because if you put an X here instead of a K, it will count you wrong. Okay, so I got 12k squared, and then arrow over to get out of the exponents, plus k minus 1. All right, so that's what you're doing, either the box method or the FOIL method for each of these types of problems, okay? And then you guys know with the IXL, it'll show you some examples if you miss it, things like that, all right? Okay, So I hope that this first video has helped you guys get started for the week. If you have further questions, please, like always, let me know. I will do one, maybe two, depending on the length, one or two more videos, just kind of walking through the rest. Okay, so if you've got this, you're good to go. All right.